Good morning, traders. It's Erica at Alpha E Trades, and it is Tuesday, March 16th, about 8:45 a.m. Eastern Time. And here's our pre-market video. So currently we've got ES pretty flatlined here, traders, about 3 points, 3.5 points to the upside. NQ 73 points, give or take, bouncing around. And the RTY about negative 7 points so far in the pre-market here. Okay, so let's do a quick top-down analysis, starting with our higher time frame charts and going on to the 15-minute and so forth. It's important to know your time frames and what you are trading because all targets are different. Here is our monthly chart, and I am on the 06 contracts. Nice clean pattern here. So we have the swing from the low here to the high, back to the low. Here is the breach point, okay, and or the trigger to take us into the trade here. However, though, because this is a monthly chart, so remember every candle represents 1 month here. Essentially here from the monthly perspective, I would probably see resistance here at the 61.8 before we got a retrace back into this breach point here. Okay, we don't have that retrace yet. Remember, the market does not go straight up. It does the zigzag, and so expecting a little bit of a pullback here, maybe starting this week. Now, as to on the monthly chart, if we will get to 61.8 by, it's the 16th today, by the end of the month. So again, remember, these are monthly candles. They show a little movement. We could pull back down to the breach point, and it's just above 3,600, 3,750 in this ballpark area. Obviously, and the candle stays the same all month and just kind of grows. Okay, so some food for thought. But so this is what we're seeing here from the monthly perspective. Overall, though, it is a nice clean pattern. Our big kahuna target that we're expecting here is a 45.97. It's target 1. And then target 2 is the 141, 51.82. Now, granted, traders, this isn't, these targets are certainly way out, probably going into fall, August, September, etc. Okay, so that's why I always stress know your time frames, because every target potential is different. That's why you hear all different kinds of traders talking different targets, and maybe one is bullish and one is bearish, and so there's definitely a lot of controversy on where the market is going. So this is the monthly chart here, traders. So far here, we're heading on to the 61.8. We'll see if we can get there by the end of the month. Now let's take a look at the weekly chart. Okay, the weekly chart on ES. Now this is quite interesting here because we're about to trigger for I guess, I don't like to use the word breakout, but a little bit of a mini breakout here. And so let's look at the swing lows that we're using. We're using this swing low down to, so we've got leg 1, leg 2 here. Here is our breach point and or trigger point. Okay, the problem with the weekly chart is usually we trade a lot of this style on the 5-minute chart and we wait for the close and then enter. But obviously this is a weekly candle. You don't want to wait for the candle to close because it's a weekly, so you execute from your 5-minute and so forth here. But we're getting very close here. Actually, it's right here, so it did actually trigger, so to speak. So as for this week, let's see if we can get to 40.14. This is target 1. Okay, it's a 100 extension. And then ultimately, for whatever reason, if the market, it is a bull market and the market just keeps making these all-time highs, our next target would be the 141 at the 41.38. But this is my main target here, traders. I've been eyeing this level here for a couple weeks here, the 40.14, 40.11. Depends on where you have your fibs at. Sometimes I snap them, sometimes I don't. So if you don't snap them, you get anywhere from like 40.11 to 40.12, etc. I think these are snapped here. This is a and they're holding in place here, so 40.14. So this is the weekly chart. Now though, let's take this one step further here. I'm thinking we're due for just a tiny retracement here, traders, so I'm going to take the swing low. Okay, now this candle still is moving here, but just to give you a ballpark figure, let's go up here. Okay, let's go up to the 40, 11, 12, 14. Like I said, it depends on if your fibs are snapped here, but this ballpark here. Okay, now let's look at for a retracement potential, because usually, again, we're going to hit some resistance. We have no lower low. So again, the market just doesn't go straight. It does our nice little zigzag. And so if we go like this, okay, so say we hit our actual target one here from the weekly perspective. Now, and then the market's going to do a mini little crash here. Usually here, traders, we're going to go back to anywhere from the 50 to the 61.8. So the 61.8 here, traders, is at 38.26. So again, very important, know your time frames, because a drop from 40.14 down to 38.26 is going to feel quite bearish, and then you'll get a lot of panic in the market, and everyone's thinking there's a mini crash, etc. So this is a big drop, and it's certainly a good time to hedge your positions, your longer term equity, and so forth. So this is what we're looking for from the weekly standpoint. Okay. Now there was nothing on the daily chart or the 1440-minute chart. Except for that, we are just expecting, we need a lower low here, traders. Okay, now on the 1440-minute chart that I have, we don't have it yet, and so therefore I'm just going to do another mini. So again, we want a lower low. Oh, I have these snapped. That's why it's not allowing me to draw. There we go, disabled. Okay, so we want this lower low again, so that the market can take off. Okay, now from the 1440 perspective here, okay, let's do retracement here. We're going to do this swing low. Now again here, this candle is still growing. We're at 39.65. I think on our higher time frame charts we were expecting into the 40.11, give or take this area here. But so you always want to do a retracement. There's no lower low. Now the daily chart, if we were to hold here or even at the 4,000 level, so it just depends on where the day ends here, okay, and for your retracement projections, and it's usually the 50 down to the 61.8, give or take. Okay, so I don't have a true projection here because obviously we're not done with the day, and that's why I like to go off of the higher time frames on where market is heading and a potential pullback. Okay. So not too much shaking here. MACD is very strong. We still have some room on the stochastics here. We do need a lower low though coming in here soon, so maybe by the end of the week, as we noted on the weekly charts. Okay, so that was the 1440. And 60-minute chart here. Let's take a look here, traders, at the 60-minute chart. Oh, I need to add some more data on this chart. Okay, our latest swing here. Let's see how the market, now obviously we're running just a little bit into some bullish exhaustion, but I do think we're going to hit this last leg here. Let's do an extension off this last swing here. So we're going to take this swing low, and then we're going to take this swing high. We're going to pull back down to the low here. And so this is how we get our actual estimated future targets here. So the 100 extension here, traders, is targeting 39.98 from a 60-minute perspective. I think I'm snapped. Okay, 39.98. We shall see if we can hover there today. Now, for some reason, I missed the 4-hour or 240-minute chart. Let's take a look here. Okay, so that was a 60-minute chart. I've been working the swing trade pattern here for a little bit, as you can see here. Here was the swing that I'm looking at. Here was our breach trigger buy. And so a lot of our traders took this. Some took it back on the retracement here and are just holding, depending upon your trade style, if you swing and or scalp. Nothing wrong with both. Okay. So the ultimate target here, our first target was the 100 extension. That's been met. If we take a look here though, traders, at the moving averages, the blue is the 50 moving average punching into the yellow 200. So we're still quite, we still got just a tiny bit more of bullish steam in here, but we are, again, market is getting a little extended here from the higher time frames. But the ultimate target on the 4-hour chart or 240-minute is 39.82. Okay. Now, So that's 39.82 from the 4-hour. And on the 60-minute, this fresh, okay, if we can hit over R2, let's take a look at the fresh, 39.98. So the same ballpark, okay, 39.82, 98. So again, very important to know your time frames and what you're trading. Okay, because everyone has different targets and or reversals, also your trading style, whether you're swing trading and you stay in the trade for the pullback, maybe add to your positions, or we have some traders that are just, they're just scalping for 2 points at a time, trading the 5-minute chart. So this is the 60-minute potential here. Let's take a look. Did we close? We did close here. So technically here's the breach point, and we need one candle to close over R1, so we did. Notice how we are holding as well right on the breach point, okay, as support. And so we'll see how this goes. That is the 60-minute time frame, okay. And let's glance now, let's crank the microscope down to the 15-minute chart. 15-minute, now the lower time frames are where you see like the intraday reversals and all of that good stuff, or your entry points, okay. So we have, let's take this last swing low here and see if on this 15-minute chart we still got some steam on MACD to head up. Looks like just a little bit of a retracement here, okay, but market is still, okay, we still have our divergence here. Let's take this swing and do a price projection to see if this has met yet. So we're going to take the swing low here on the 15-minute chart to the swing high. We're going to pull it down to this swing low, see where we're currently at. Alright, so the ultimate target, nice correlation on R2. The 100 extension, 39.71 is the target for the 15-minute, target 1, and then your target 2. If we can close above R2 would be the 39.86 ultimately. That should sound very familiar because the 39.86 is running into our higher time frame targets on the 4-hour 240-minute chart. I think it was 39.82 and so forth. Okay, so there's still just a little bit of room here to go here for the 15-minute target. Nice correlation. I like to see correlations on resistances on our targets, okay, because usually we'll get just a tiny pullback here. Okay, and so this is probably just setting up the move here. Here's our lower low to take another run to the upside. Okay, so that's the 15-minute chart. And the 5-minute chart, and this is exactly what we're talking about here. And you can start to see the pullback on the 5-minute chart. Let's do a price projection. Okay, it's a beauty of buying and selling here. So we're going to take this swing high down to this swing low. Hasn't yet triggered. Okay, and this is your breach point. So let's take a look at the 100 extension. So this would be the selling target 1. Oh, I'm snapped here. Target 1 and target 2. Okay. 39.56. So if price comes down here, notice here it's also in correlation here with we've got demand down here. Okay, demand zone. So these are your buyers kind of awaiting, and then this will take us into that target 39.8286. Okay, so it's a top-down analysis here on pre-market, about 30 minutes before the U.S. cash market opens. Let's take a look at NQ on the 4-hour or 240-minute. Target 1 was met yesterday. And so when you're trading swing trades on the 4-hour or 240-minute and so forth, you have to have a little patience here because you're going to see those pullbacks. So again, depends on your trading style and your time frame. That's why I always stress, know your time frame. You'll hear me say lots of different targets, depends on what I'm trading that day, market volatility, and so forth. So here was the swing low. Here was our breach point here. Okay, nice strong close on that. Deficient, closed outside the previous range, and then the market continued 100 extension, target 1's met. We still have target 2 here for NQ. We're holding on R1 here on support. So 141 is the extension on the target on NQ, 13,200 give or take. NQ certainly is a runner, a lot of power lately, making all-time highs. And if this were to close and just keep chugging along, sometimes we see the 200 extension met. Okay, but target 1's been met, and we should see target 2 today. Same scenario here. We're running out of steam though from a weekly perspective. So this is what we've got going on here on the 240-minute chart on NQ. Let's take a look at RTY on the 4-hour, or actually this is a 60-minute chart. Okay, this is what I was looking at yesterday. Now this became null and invalid. However, okay, so we all know that the market can do what it wants. So let's take a look. Favorite indicator I'm always asked is hindsight. So this actually temporarily got invalid here. Okay, and it got invalid because we got a new lower low here. Okay, but again, in real-time trading, we trade what we see. Okay, and did this trigger? Yes. However, though, take a look here. It spiked and it held at the 61.8 and did another pullback. So with that being said here, what we're going to do is we're simply just going to adjust the targets. So I'm going to remove this. Adjusted the extensions here. So the new breach point, if this were to go, is going to be at this high. Let's draw in. So we're going to take these low here from this extension. This high. Now this was our previous one, but then we have a new lower low. So I'm just going to widen this up here. And let's take a look here. So almost, but you can see though where it did technically, yes, it got invalid. So if you trailed this or whatnot, you still were stopped out okay. But again, market gets a little choppy, and this does happen every now and again. So I'm going to reset the trade up for today to see how we go. This is a wider projection, a couple different things. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that, but the target 1 is still intact here, give or take 23.68. Now I'm going to do something else here. So I'm going to remove this. We have an itty bitty tiny one showing up here. So we're going to take this swing low down to here, and this is about to trigger. Okay, so your trigger here is right here. Now where is from this, everyone see where I got this? Right here. There's leg 1, here's leg 2, and smaller trade, but your target here is 100 extension, 23.56, target 1, and then your target 2 is the 141.23, 61. Okay. So a little bit of chop here on RTY, but again, it does happen, minor lower low, and when that happens, we'll just adjust and then wait for the proper buying trigger and or selling trigger. Okay. So hope that helped, and we will see you soon in the live room. If you are on Twitter, you can follow us on Twitter at Alpha E Trades. Okay, and here we are. So it's at Alpha E Trades. And with that being said, happy trading everyone, and have a wonderful Tuesday. Hopefully profitable. We'll see how we go. See you tomorrow.